Hello. Welcome to It Is What It Is, live from River West Radio. Hey, yeah, I'm Carol Hale, and today I had a guest scheduled, but as I thought might happen, he didn't show, or he's not here yet, and that's CC Carmichel, who has a show here himself. And, Cece's a dear person, very interesting, a character, that's for sure. But uh, we can always count on Cece. So he's not here today as yet, at any rate. So I have stuff to talk about, though. And I really got some good feedback. We had Michael Zeidler on, the last, and Michael, we talked about the Fiscal Oversight Board in Puerto Rico. He is a remarkable person. What a mind, and facts and figures. And so Michael will be on again towards the end of the month, I believe. And we're going to talk about something to do. Actually, we're going to talk about the island of Vieques, part of the Commonwealth of the Puerto Rico. The United States has its grasp on Puerto Rico, and for sure Vieques. So that's going to be the end of the month. In the interim, I did talk Ken Leinbach. Yesterday I was going to have him next week, or I was going to invite him, and I did. But he's going to be out of town, and but thereafter he'll be here. Ken, I got good feedback about Ken. He manned the show while I was away for some time during the winter, and so he did a really excellent job. I see. Today I got the paper and lots of stuff that really caught my eye, and I really am. Quite honestly, I'm very pleased here. Court invalidates abortion plan. That was. I haven't had time to read the article, but I'm guessing this is a win for the Democrats. Well, it's a win for everybody. Who cares whether you're Democrat or Republican? It's an issue that's important to all of us, and women, whether they're Democrat or Republican, they have this is an important issue for them, and regardless of whether they own up to it or not, there are plenty of Republicans there who have abortion. You have to, when you have to make that kind of decision, you do, and so regardless of whether you're Democrat or Republican. Tomorrow is the 4th of July. I've been hearing fireworks all week long, all times of evening and nighttime, into 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and and the thing that really amazes me, or not amazes me, but that I quite don't understand. Their fireworks are expensive. I'm sure, the big displays we have everywhere. Wow, I'd like to get a dollar figure on what it costs to do these fireworks. And where these kids get the money to do fireworks, and they're not all kids actually, they're and where I live, you hear these during the night, and I'm really, it's not a good thing, but occasionally, there are gunshots. I can hear them from, Lincoln Park. Actually, I've heard gunshots coming from the cemetery, which is close to my house. And So it's hard to tell whether sometimes maybe it's not fireworks. It could be gunshots because that happens where I live. And although it's not a rough neighborhood per se, uh, I live in a place that's kind of in between zones, sort of, and close to Lincoln Park. And there a lot going on there, and a lot of racing in the streets at night. Can't im- I don't understand. There's another thing I don't understand in the plethora of things I don't understand. It's how they let these guys get away with speeding as they do in the evening, at night, and a lot of it on motorcycles and stuff as well. They really, and it makes a lot of noise. And the people who live even closer to the streets than I, they they have to put up with this. And why do they have to put up with it? I think I think it's absurd that I got stopped for not stopping completely for a stop sign a couple weeks ago. They stop for everything else, but they let these guys get away with this speed stuff. None of them are women, actually. I, maybe they say women are more sensitive and actually, and I do believe we think a little better than you guys. I don't know, but you don't see a lot of women racing around like the guys do. It's sort of a macho thing. They feel like the more noise and the more everything they make, the more masculine it shows they are. I'm not a shrink, but, case studies show it's, the big, what did that saying, the bigger the toys, or whatever, the about guys, the bigger, the more toys, at any rate, the bigger the equipment, the more macho guys seem to feel, the more noise they make. So the 4th of July tomorrow is going to be a lot of parades. I live in Glendale. And yes, we're having parades there. Everywhere is having a parade. One of my a friend and neighbor, he's going to, I think it's Sheboygan. I'm not sure, wherever the Allen Edmonds, factory or makers are. His sister works for Allen Edmonds, and they're having a shoe in their parade. An Allen Edmonds shoe. I'd be interested to see what that looks like. It's like a shoe with seats in it. So I'm going to ask, actually, pardon me, I'm going to ask to take a picture of that shoe, and I'd like to see that. So yes, it's one of those things. The 4th of July, I had people over last year in my yard for the 4th, but I am so discombobulated where my yard is concerned. I'm sort of, I've covered this before. I'm so behind in everything. Leaving for Puerto Rico for some time at winter time, it just you leave. It's like moving twice a year. You leave, and you never get things done before you leave everything. And when you return, you've got all that. At least I do. I am somewhat organized in my life, but when it comes to the house and stuff, I'm really I'm for want of I need to. Well, here we go. It is what it is, that's for sure. But I do have a lovely yard. It's just a great spot. I really am very blessed to be. It's 50 years this year that I am living in the same place. It's on the river across from Lincoln Park, and it's a real special special place. And so I've been eating all my meals out there, weather permitting, without rain. And it hasn't been much rain, which we sorely need, I think. But yeah, I eat, breakfast, lunch, dinner out there, whatever I can. And I do my paperwork and stuff, whatever I need done. I do that outside. I read the paper outside, whatever I need to do. I do as much outside as possible. And yes, I'm very fortunate. In fact, not so well. A friend told me that I'm privileged. I had never thought of that. Never occurred to me that I'm privileged. But when I think about it, and I think about my life and situations, really special things that I've had in my life, I realize, yes, I truly am privileged. And oh, here comes somebody else who has a show. He's in here now. Bill. Yeah, well, so I like this place, River West Radio. Such interesting people. This is a blessing. This is part of the privilege that I experience. Having this show is a privilege, and it's a privilege to meet and come to know the people who have programs and the people who run this station. They're really, it's such a nice, diverse slice of people here and at the station, as is the case in River West General. This is a remarkable neighborhood. I think it's a remarkable neighborhood. And not far, just a block away, is the Jazz Gallery, which is a very special place. It is now the historic Jazz Gallery. And, some of the greats. In fact, so many of the great jazz musicians have played at the Jazz Gallery. And now, it's an art gallery as well. They have all kinds of events going on over there. And so that's a privilege to be able to be so close to these wonderful, wonderful venues for things. Culture, cultural. This is a very cultural neighborhood. And, in a couple of weeks, there's going to be Latin jazz at Gordon Park. No, not Gordon Park. Yeah, Gordon Park. Not Gordon Park. On Locust and Humboldt. It's Gordon Park. Yeah, so, and I have a real thing for Latin jazz. And so, and there's going to be Latin jazz at the Jazz Gallery coming up, too. I think that's actually in a week or so. And so I don't, I try not to miss any of the jazz events, particularly Latin jazz. The person who just walked in here that I said, here's another person who has a radio station, a radio show, Bill Duvall. He's he's a neat guy, Bill Duvall. And Bill is, I'd like to get him to be a guest on my show sometime. And also, Bill is a Scorpio. I met him last year. Every year I have a neat party, really. I have the Sign of Scorpio party in usually in the first week of November, or, during the sign. It's October, I think it's October 23rd to November 23rd, 22nd in there. And yes, and I have some really neat people come to my parties. And Scorpios, who knows if it is, but I personally think they're an interesting breed. And Bill Duvall, I want him to, I'm going to ask him if he'll be on my show. Talk about, I don't really know much about him. And so, I mentioned about Ken Leinbach. You know, that's something, everything seems to really blend together in my life, these people. Ken Leinbach has been part of my, a significant person to me in the past, since 1990. And all these people around here. And I'm going to be getting together with a gal who was a guest on my show a few weeks ago, Karen Lemke, who she is a proponent of the use of hemp for various products, and in general, hemp cultivation, production, as an industrial fabric or industrial material for you can make, and just about anything with hemp makes great. Actually, and I have to see what it is, but you can. They have not a petroleum. Petroleum is oil, but they have there is an oil or lubricant that can be used as oil is in the production of plastics. They can make just about anything with hemp products. So at any rate, Karen is she and I hope we're going to be going to White Earth Reservation in Minnesota, to where they have hemp production, and discuss that. There's a possibility for me that I might be able to use hemp as a product, or as a use for a business I'm to, which I've actually started, which is has to do with burial, has to do with natural internment, and so. Karen Lemke will be on the show. I'm going to be taking the train also to Seattle regarding this business that I'm beginning. And so it's, I love the train, just love the train. In years past, some years I've traveled 15,000 miles in a year on the train. That's quite a lot. And also, yes, and one of the thrills of my life was a great experience. Took the Trans-Siberian train from China, Shanghai, Beijing, went through all of through Russia, going around Lake Baikal, going around, took 6.5 days. That by far is one of the really good adventures of my really fairly adventurous life that I've been blessed to have. Of course, there's been a lot of really, really tough, and especially in the past. Well, at any rate, I've had some really very significant bad experiences in the past, maybe in the past 15 years. Oh, jeez. I don't know. Here we go again. It is what it is. And something I was I'm reading Dick Bacon. Some of you might that name might register with some of you. You have to be a little bit older to know that Dick Bacon was a figure who used to sunbathe at the lakefront every day, regardless of the weather, and that was in the 50s, the 60s, and the 1960s, and yeah, in the late 50s, 1960s. Dick Bacon was a person out there every day. He had this whole setup of reflective, uh, 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 aluminum or whatever things that he would, and foil, and oh, he had an incredible setup, and he had a tremendous tan all his life. And I don't know what Dick died of, but it wasn't. He had no problem with skin. He had no skin cancers, no problem whatsoever with the resulting from the. I don't know if you could calculate the number of hours a guy put into his tanning. So Dick Bacon, there's been stuff in the news about him lately. There's been some kind of production about him. I want to have a friend of mine did a show some years ago. It was called, she had it at the Walker's Point Center of the Arts, I think it was there. And it was called Who's Done Dick? It was a kind of a racy name for the show, but it was very appropriate. Who's Done Dick? But it really was a show about he used to model for artists and stuff, so it was, and various people did there were so many artworks done, or paintings, drawings, etc., of Dick Bacon. So that's where the name came from. My friend Angel French is the person who did that. And so Who's Done Dick? Going to have something coming up. I'm going to get more information about that. We have this Fonzie statue, bronze statue down at the river, Milwaukee River. Fonzie, he was a let's pretend person. He was a character in a TV program that had to do with remotely with Milwaukee. And so they got Fonzie down there. I think we should have Dick Bacon. I think I'd like to see if I can't maybe get something going about that. Have a cast statue of Dick Bacon sunbathing at the beach and have that installed at the beach. That would be a good piece of artwork. Very, very appropriate and interesting. As you know, Dick Bacon was an interesting person. So there we go. I'm going to see if I can't plug that in as a suggestion. A cast statue of Dick Bacon. That would be pretty neat. He sunbathed in like thongs. The guy he had minimal. He had the minimal swim or whatever you would call it. He was certainly wearing swim trunks, but he would be a really neat, and he was in great shape, really good shape. I just want to go on with that one more moment here. God, I'm going to tell you, my age thing here, but around the '60s and stuff, there were people who be down at the lakefront. It was the place to go. The lakefront was so much going on, at the beach. Really super neat and interesting people, and it was peaceful, and there were no parking restrictions and all kinds of stuff. The beach was a great place to go to. And there was another guy who used to, Dick Bacon was, by far the most interesting. There was another guy they called Rabbi. He used to wear long robes, long, like gowns, whatever, and white. He looked like like a powerful religious man, which he wasn't at all. He was totally unreligious, and I don't know where he got the name rabbi. But hey, those were the days, folks, when the lakefront was still a good place. I don't think it is anymore so much. I don't go down there. It's disheartening for me. Some places I avoid just because I feel bad to see what's become of them, and the lakefront's one of them. Yeah, my little world gets smaller and smaller somehow, where I'll go, because I like to enjoy where I go, and I don't like to feel bad about it. The changes. However, I did go on 20th Street last week. It's a street that I used to live on, and that has changed so much. There I feel bad, but I go there anyway because it's such a strong part of my life. I lived there till I was, from the time I was born till the time I was 16. I lived on 20th Street from the time I was born till I was 16, and significant place, great place then. It's not anymore, but it was a German and primarily German neighborhood. Some Polish. I don't remember. Not many Polish. Mostly, yeah, German. And myself as well. My maiden name was Kraus, which I disliked. I never liked the name Kraus because it was at the time not so long after Hitler, and the German connotation seemed, I was too small to realize what was going on with Germany, but I knew it wasn't good, and I didn't like having the name Kraus because I felt it was something wrong with it. Didn't like the connotation that went with it. So, God, time goes fast, except when you're trying to make the most of it. Let's see what time it is now. Oh, it's already 4:27. Wow, that time did go fast. I've just got a couple more minutes. Well, I've got 2 more minutes. Hey, folks. Well, I've kind of digressed about a number of things here, and I'm going to have to listen to this show tonight because, it's archived, folks. You can get it again later. Hey, so I want to review this show, see what the hell what I talked about. What the heck I talked about.